All right, so welcome to UX and ATX. For those of you I have not met, my name is Cindy Brummer, and I am the founder of UX and ATX. We've been around since 2019, and we are still having meetups almost every month, usually on Zoom. And most recently, we started meeting in person. So we had a really successful happy hour at the end of February. We did a very exciting event at South by Southwest, and we are in the middle of getting ready for our next in-person event. In the meantime, though, we're still having these monthly meetups on Zoom, since we do have a lot of members that are not able to come in person. I need to let y'all know that the person who is supposed to be my co-presenter tonight is not able to be here. I hope she's okay. I'm not sure. I just know that she canceled about an hour before, and I thought it would be very unfair of me to cancel this meetup at the last minute for you, because I do have some things to share about South by Southwest. That being said, it's not going to go the full hour likely. I don't have enough material to go for an hour. Darn, I'm sure that you are looking forward to hearing me talk for an entire hour. But I do want to share what I learned at South by. And then I do have a little bit of resources that I got from my time at South by. And then I'd love to open it up for questions about trends, things that I'm seeing. I have some strong opinions about that as well. And then I will say that our next meetup is, I believe, going to be in May. We are going to do some really cool panels. Those are all starting to go up on our website at uxandatx.com. And I am currently working on a portfolio review night. I don't have the details. I had been planning to do it with another person, but I also want to make sure that we're respectful for budgets, and I didn't want to have to charge. So be looking for that. I'm trying to set it up for May 15th. And of course, we can also do some things online. So if you have any need for any kind of portfolio review, please reach out through the website or join us on Slack. Okay, cool. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started talking about what I learned at South by. And I'm just going to let you know right now, I can't go to everything. So there are literally hundreds of sessions going on at South by during the entire, I think it is 11 days. I was only able to make it for 5, and I tried to hit as many sessions as possible. That being said, there was just a lot that I didn't see. I did get to see the chief programming officer speak about trends that he saw, so I tried to incorporate that into my talk, looking into the future for UX. So South by Southwest, I feel like, has some really interesting perspective. It tends to be on the cutting edge of where things are going. Now, sometimes they get things wrong. Obviously the things that get a lot of hype, they take a lot of attention. Last year and the year before, it was all about NFTs, and that's kind of, the hype has died down a little bit. Also didn't see as much about Web3 this year as I've seen in previous years. Not to say that it's gone away, but it's definitely not hyped up the way it was. But there were some definite things that I saw that I don't know that I'd characterize as trends. To me, when I'm bringing up something as a trend, it's more something that I think has staying power, something that I'm noticing is in a whole lot of conversations, and it's important to bring up now. One of the first things that I saw a lot of was innovative technology. I'm sorry, the sound got really loud for me, because this was at one of the hype houses. Hold on, let me turn down my ear. Okay, so this was at the one of the outside events of South by Southwest. There was a lot of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math type work being displayed. This was at the Hookham House for the University of Texas. This is one of the robots that they've been working on programming. I saw a lot of robotics everywhere. there was definitely a lot of discussion about robots that were able to react in the environment and not be entirely programmed. So you can see here, this little robot has a little device on it, and it's actually reacting to it's going around. It's not just programmed. I saw a lot of this, which tells me that there's a real move toward this kind of design and engineering, and we're going to see this kind of innovation happening a whole lot more. There was a lot of innovation in terms of physical products. And there was a lot of innovation in talking around self-driving cars. So Waymo actually had a big presence there, in addition to some of the other big AI leaders, which leads me to the biggest trend I saw, which was AI in everything. Literally, there wasn't a single session that I went to, even if it had nothing to do with artificial intelligence, that didn't mention AI. This was on the forefront of everybody's mind. Last year, it was really hyped. This year, the feeling I got was that it's here, and it's just going to be in everything, and it's expected. And so there was a lot of thinking about how it could be implemented in things, what people were already doing. There's a lot of ideas around, like, how it's going to be in every single product everywhere. Um, and equally, there was a lot of apprehension about AI. So last year it was really hyped, like, yay, AI is the best. This year, there's a lot of discussion around it, and also a lot of not fear, but let's think about this. So there was actually an entire day that I went to of ethics and AI, regulatory compliance, those kinds of things. Companies are actually not moving as quickly into rolling out AI as had been predicted initially. There's a lot of, let's see the best way, or let's put some planning in place before we go ahead and roll it out. Yes, I know you've probably seen news articles and heard a lot of discussion around companies that have decided that they're just going to not hire people. They're only going to use AI, but I wouldn't say that that is the norm. And there's some backlash. So South by Southwest every day does like a little video recap, and then the next day they play it in front of the big sessions and the films. And when it played before the Fallout Boy premiere, the audience booed because the entire video that day was about AI. And so there's a lot of trepidation around it and how it's going to happen. That being said, I'm seeing the tea leaves here, and the future of our industry is AI. Um, I can't, I don't think it's going to replace designers. I do think it's going to, and has already started causing a lot of turbulence for us. And the best thing we can do is hang on and learn as much as we can about what's coming down the pike, and figuring out what we can do to not only design for it, but design with it. Just like anesthesiologists, when they needed to, or I would say radiologists, when radiologists started, there were computers that were coming up and being able to read X-rays. The prediction was that X-rays or this computer technology would replace radiologists. That's not true at all. The radiologists that use the technology replace the radiologists that don't. So my prediction is that the designers that use AI and use it effectively in their process and work are going to be the ones that replace the designers that don't. Not to say that there won't be a place for bespoke design, but I really do think that design with AI is going to overtake the traditional, the designers are doing everything in the tool. I created this presentation for my class last week because I think it's important to have a discussion around what AI is, just so that we can better understand it, because a lot of people throw out this term, and then there's a lot of lack of understanding in terms of what is actually AI. I learned all this from the IBM AI course. When we're talking about artificial intelligence, it's actually not truly sentient intelligence. We're talking about, though, uh, a, a, a process that allows computers to do things that traditionally humans have had to step in and do. So that's essentially what it is. It looks like these are human problem solving type activities that now a computer can take on. And we already use it. Like the thing is that it became really hyped last year, but I mean, it's been around us for a long time. It's in our devices, whether you're using Siri or using Alexa or the Google Assistant. If you're using GPS, Google Maps, and it's figuring out the route, that's all AI. And then the biggest thing though that came out of it were the generative AI tools that we started hearing a whole lot about last year. So when we talk about AI, it actually is a big umbrella term. So part of that is going to be the machine learning, and then another part of that is deep learning. So machine learning is when a a a program, the algorithm itself can start to do things without like specifically being told what to do. Okay. So it's being given data and then it can create, like, it can find patterns in the data, and no human has specifically programmed it to do that. Now, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. This is when it's using a lot of data and a whole lot of layers within that data in which to draw even more complex patterns and be able to come up with more. So when we think about the generative AI, that's more on the deep learning side. Now, there are two different kinds of AI. There's weak AI and then there's strong AI. So weak AI can also be called artificial narrow intelligence and also narrow AI. And then strong AI is this artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence. So weak AI is all around us. And it's kind of a misnomer because if you think about how powerful it is to interact with the Google Assistant or with Alexa or Siri, that's weak AI right there. So it's what we are working with all the time. Strong AI is this thing that everybody is a little bit more apprehensive about. And this is when you have something that is more on the side of sentient. This is not happen. This is theoretical at this point. This is when machines are self-aware and they're doing their own thing. We don't have that. We're a long ways from that, and we need a whole lot more computing power to get there. As to when that happens, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it's 5 years away, but then again, I'm not an AI expert. I've heard some people throw around 10 years. I mean, it just depends on when we can hit that computing power that's necessary for it. It's down the road though. This is why a lot of different countries and are looking at ways to regulate AI. So when we think about the strong AI and even the weak AI, there are definitely regulations coming out in Europe about regulating how it's being used. And there's a push in the United States to also regulate it because there's a lot of ethical considerations around it as well. And then in terms of training the AI, there's a lot of discussion around the ethics of that. You may have heard about some of these companies that are using very low paid labor in third world countries who are being forced to watch images that are just traumatic and horrible in order to tag and categorize all these things in order to train the algorithm. So if there's a lot of people that are taking it for granted that this stuff is happening, but somebody has to do it. And so that's why countries are thinking about how do we regulate it. There's copyright considerations as well. Is something copyrightable if you used AI or generative AI to create it in the first place? So you'll see some different companies that are looking at the landscape and deciding their path. OpenAI, the one that we've all heard about with ChatGPT, they definitely have their own stance. They claim to be, you know, very stand up and they follow their own regulations. But then Adobe has decided that with its AI, it's going to be very careful not to borrow artist images. So you might have to do some research in terms of the tools that then, you know, and how they're training those tools and decide for yourself which you want to support. Now, I covered machine AI or machine learning, and I just want to cover some of these things that we hear a lot of the time. So machine learning is a subset of AI. And when we hear about this term, this is when the algorithms are using what's termed a neural network, and it's learning from large amounts of data. All right. And normally these algorithms are being supervised into how it's learning. So it might be a closed network or something like that. Deep learning, as I mentioned earlier, is a subset of machine learning. And in this case, it has more layers for the neural network. So imagine like a spider web that might look this for machine learning. And then it's like 1,000 times more complex for deep learning. So it can learn a lot more and it is actually capable of unsupervised learning. So it just keeps on learning with the algorithm. And then generative AI is referring to those deep learning, what's the word? Models. Okay. So it's taking raw data and it's feeding it in and it's learning from the raw data and then being able to, it can generate a response to you from whatever the inputs are. And I will say that garbage in is garbage out. So if you're feeding data in that's not of high quality to the algorithm, that's all it can do is feed out what it's been taught. So there's a lot of controversy again about some of these generative AI tools that are being fed everything on the internet. And we all know, God, the internet is never lies, right? And there's a lot of bias on the internet. And so these things are all being fed in and it, you know, Chat GPT can only use what it has to learn from. Now, if our future is about AI, then it's important to start learning now all these different tools that are coming out. Not only should we as designers learn how to design for them, but we need to start working with them in terms of, you know, pulling them into our processes and learning to be efficient. So the designer of the future, and my prediction is that we will be working much more efficiently, much quicker in order to generate the same types of outputs. And hopefully we're working, you know, with much higher quality as well. We might even be working in smaller teams because some of the tools may allow us to do collaborative work where we might have needed another person. Maybe in the future, we will only be working with something like ChatGPT. So my friend Casey went to a talk where the presenter presented a whole bunch of different tools. She shared that with me, so I'm pulling that into this talk so that I can share them with you so you can start seeing how you can implement AI tools into your process. If you haven't already started using an AI tool to help you transcribe your interviews for, you know, user research, do it. This is by far the simplest and the easiest way to start pulling AI tools into your process. I personally use Otter. I have it capture all of the data. It's capturing the data right now for this meetup. And then I can go back in and I can review the transcript. Almost never do I have to go back and listen to an interview anymore. And if I do, it's usually through Otter. So I can clarify what someone said in an interview. This has sped up my process at least by 10 times. I'd have to have it now. It has become a crutch, but it definitely is useful. And if you don't have Otter, but you do have Zoom, Zoom now has an AI transcription tool. When we were doing, so first of all, I should also say, if you're doing interviews in other languages, Otter's not good at it. Otter is great at English, does not know Spanish. That being said, Zoom does understand Spanish, and you can set the transcription in the Zoom recording to Spanish, and it will transcribe it for you so that you can look at that transcription. I don't have it on this slide, but I also found a tool called Maestra. It's Maestra. And it does language transcription through AI. So if you've done an interview in just about any language, you can upload it into the tool. You can pay a little bit for the credits or the minutes that you get, and it will spit out the transcription for you, and it speeds up. I don't know, it would have taken me hours. It was within 30 minutes. Has anybody here used Dovetail at all? Raise your hand if you have. So Dovetail has been around for a bit. I first became acquainted with it back in 2020 doing a research project. I had a client that wanted us to use it for interviews. You can analyze your interviews through it. You usually have to listen and then tag them. I have not used it honestly since then, so it's been a while, and I'm sure it has new features. But you can hold on to it. It's like an interview like storage source, and then you can go back and search and find all kinds of things in there. So it can help you in terms of analyzing your interviews. Miro has a new beta tool called Miro Assistant. And what you can do is you can put in your notes, and then I saw the demo, you can circle it, and it will actually try to give you some insights or help you organize at least the data that you've put onto a Miro board. Pretty useful if you ask me, especially when you're dealing with a ton of data that you've had to start to sort through and synthesize. So this might be a cool tool to at least try like a trial on and see if it works for you. ChatGPT. Now, you do not need a paid account to use ChatGPT 3.5. I believe you do if you want to use 4. But it is pretty darn useful for you if you want to use it for a couple of different things. For example, helping you draft problem statements. What's the best way to write that problem statement that you're going for? The main thing you have to do is learn how to talk with it. It's not like Google search. You don't just put in a question necessarily. You have to learn how to talk to it, and you can have a whole conversation with it, and it can help you draft that problem statement. It might be worth giving that a try. It can also serve as a collaboration partner. So if you're working as a solo designer on a passion project, or maybe you're the solo designer on an engineering team, use it to help you brainstorm solutions when you don't have anybody else. We all know that it's awfully difficult to come up with multiple solutions when you're working by yourself. So ChatGPT could actually help you with that. And I met a woman on Friday that uses it specifically as a collaboration tool because she is a solo customer experience strategist, and this really works for her. It can give you ideas on features for your idea, for the solution that you're coming up with. It can come up with stuff that you didn't even think of. So it can help you draft that and even refine that feature list, especially if you're not familiar with some of the terms. If you're doing this is one thing I've learned. If you're working on an AI tool, ChatGPT knows a lot about AI because it's an AI tool. So ask it about AI stuff. Like how would you do this? Because it knows the best thing to learn how to do AI is through another AI tool. It will tell you. If you are using FigJam, you've probably seen that it's not only just has like static templates you can use, but it can help you create templates to start from. So you can use the prompt to generate your own template. FigJam isn't analyzing things for you, it's not synthesizing, but its whole goal with its AI tool is to help you get past the blank canvas, which can be very intimidating. So rather than starting from nothing, you can at least start from something. Now I know Figma has a number of plugins that have some sort of AI integrated with it, whether it is wireframes and what have you. I have not explored those, but one thing that I have been looking into is it's like UiZard or Wizard. I can't really tell. I don't know how they pronounce it, but it can help you actually draft wireframes when you sign up for the tool. Give it a try, or you can have it try to turn some rough sketches into UI. I would give it a try, see if you like it. I've heard mixed reviews about it. Some people say it's awesome. Some people say it needs a little bit of help. But these tools tend to keep improving over time. So it might be worth going ahead and getting signed up so you can see how it improves. There's about a bajillion color palette generators out there, many of which have AI now. The one that I became acquainted with is Chroma. This one looks pretty cool. I haven't seen Adobe's color palette generator yet, but I'm sure that they will have an AI solution as well. Sometimes it's helpful to have something, you could tell it like, hey, I'm looking for this kind of look and feel and see what it comes up with, instead of just giving it an inspiration photo. Speaking of photos, there's a lot of image generators right now. One of them is Midjourney. I've seen Jacob Nielsen talk about Midjourney quite a bit on LinkedIn. He's been experimenting with it, creating images. So you can create product imagery, you can create icons with it. There's another tool, I believe, from OpenAI called DALL-E, DALL-E, that you can give a try. I would definitely, this is another low-hanging fruit type thing, right? In addition to Otter and Zoom transcription and using ChatGPT, Midjourney, or one of those other AI tools for creating images for your designs, low-hanging fruit. This is a great time to give it a try, see what works best for you. Copy AI, I have not used this tool. This is the first time I've heard of it. And it will help you brainstorm ideas for your UX writing if you're not really a writer, but you definitely need to create some copy for that screen that you're designing, or the whole, like holistically for an entire app. This sounds like it could help you with that. I know that there's a lot of different tools out there that will help you write. I've seen it integrated into just about everything. You could also try ChatGPT for this. Find something that works for you, and then the main thing is trying it out so that you can learn how to do the prompting and have the conversation so it can generate at least a draft for you. If you're looking for it to create ready-made writing that's perfect right from the get-go, AI is not the tool for that. You want to use it to draft and help you refine, but ultimately you should have a human that's involved in this. And then there's Maze. So I've done a little bit of working with Maze. Maze has AI, and it's good for testing your solutions. So it looks like it's an unmoderated platform for putting your designs up, or at least some ideas up in front of people, and it can help you analyze it. I've used it in a limited way for a tree test, but it's been a while, so I'm looking forward to giving it a try since I do a lot of research. I would definitely try out any tool that lets you do a free trial and see what it does for you. Okay, with that, I know some people are coming in now because typically we do UX and ATX at 6:30, and I probably told people 6:30, but we're now in the Q&A portion. And so I would love to get your questions. Let me take my screen share off, and I will pull up the chat and see if there are any questions that y'all want to bring up? I see a comment about surprised Adobe using ethical design. Me too. Very surprised. Let's see. You can also go to ChatGPT and customize it for your audiences. Yeah, that's great. That's an awesome idea. Typeface AI. Ooh, that's great. Copy and image generator. That's a great thing. Can I link the ABM AI course I took? Yeah, I will put the link in our Slack channel. I don't have it handy with me right now, but I'll look it up and I'll put it in Slack, and so that y'all can take a look. What other questions do y'all have? Feel free to come off mute or to drop it in the chat.
I have a question. You mentioned using AI to sort of synthesize research, right? To go through interviews and things like that. Would that be a privacy issue if you're working with client data, or is there AI that does not, take that data and use it for itself and for everybody else?
That's a great question. If I heard you correctly, it's your question is around like what concerns about sharing, user information with an AI generative tool. Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that I've had concerns about. That being said, I use Otter pretty extensively, and everybody that comes into a Zoom call knows that it's being streamed to a third party like Otter. So I'm pretty upfront and transparent with them about it. In terms of, since I don't work in an enterprise organization and I don't have specific knowledge about how those companies' policies work, I don't know how those companies are doing it. I do know that some companies are building their own tools in-house in order to protect that data so that it doesn't go outside of their walls. So I would say all of these tools are probably good when you're working on projects outside of work. And if you're in an enterprise organization, one, you probably need to find out. And then two, definitely protect any of the data that's being going in. So I wouldn't just put an entire transcript necessarily into ChatGPT if there's some concerns about privacy there. Does that make sense, Anardo?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. What other questions do y'all have? Oh, Celia says, in my enterprise, we're using Microsoft Copilot within our firewall. Yeah, I've heard a lot about using like Microsoft's whole suite of AI, I believe, can be walled off. So that's a really good point. I think that's where Microsoft is really hoping to excel. I haven't actually tried Google Gemini, which I don't believe is working in that same way. But Microsoft Copilot is definitely, or at least my prediction is that it's really going after that market. So it's really good. Any other questions for me?
Going back to the subject of research, um, you mentioned that you do quite a bit of research, right? Like, what would be a way to use these AI tools to do more research? I'll bring one example up. I was developing some personas, right? And I did some research, right, to inform my persona. And then once I synthesized that research, I didn't have, let's say, like a name or some of those fun demographic items. And what I did is I went to an AI and I said, I want a persona with those characteristics. And then I told the AI, use my data to base it on. And then I fitted all my data. And it used it. And I was like, that's pretty wild. That's one example I've seen where like it really works to do that. Gave me my whole persona. I told him to give me three of them. Each one has own demographics. I want them to be family oriented. And he did that, right? He told me some related brands. It was pretty incredible, right, to see it do that. But that's just one example. What other examples have AI helped you with, particularly with research and building research artifacts and stuff like that?
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm new to using it as well, other than like by you doing all the transcription. because I'm moving so fast, I don't always have time to learn all the tools that are available. So in terms of doing the artifacts, I haven't done that yet, but I'm really interested in doing it. I think that's a great way. I need to learn the prompting. It's like a totally different way of talking to it. And I'm so used to my Google searches. I got really good at I have my Google foo, right? But in terms of the generative AI prompting and having that conversation, that's something that I really need to, um, get better at and learn how to do. Um, so I'm kind of going for the easy stuff that's already available, that sort of thing. And so I'm interested in looking at the Miro Assist and seeing how I can use that, since usually I've already got it all in there and I just want to see, hey, what patterns do you see? Hey, Thea.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Well, I thought you were gonna jump in with a nice little anecdote.
I have no idea how I clicked my audio on. I've been listening this whole time. And I was going to say that I've just found this really interesting, especially the aspect about the crowd booing
Yeah.
at South
Well,
by. I know that was kind of a little while ago that you mentioned that, but I just kind of hung up on it. I would have thought the opposite for such a kind of progressive crowd.
it was before a film. And as you know, the film industry has had a lot of turmoil. And the writers' strike and the Actors Guild strike, were both around AI and how it was going to be used in the movie industry. And so there's a lot of fear in Hollywood right now around what AI is going to do, because I think there's some new films that have come out that have been entirely AI generated. Now the Writers Guild has, you know, specific rules about how AI can and can't be used in any kind of script writing. So in general, the audience at that film was primarily, folks that are not like us designers who are, okay, we're going to embrace it. Those are folks that feel very threatened by it. So
That makes sense. It's very divisive just depending on the audience.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Well, cool.
sure.
I'm going to try to figure out how to mute myself so I can stop interrupting you guys. But it was good chatting. Thank you.
Of course. What other questions can I answer for you about anything I saw at South by? I know there's a few other people here that went to South by, and if you all want to jump in with your, observations and things that you heard, I'd love to hear your perspective as well, Casey.
Yeah, so I went to South by as well, and my takeaway was a lot of the same of that UI is hold on. There's a toddler in the back. That UI is really, I mean, that AI is really coming on the scene, and that if we want to keep current and be relevant, that we need to get on board and figure out how to use it as a tool. And that was my big takeaway.
Yeah, great point. There's a question here from Aaliyah. Has anyone used any AI to enhance their UI deliverables? Has anybody done that yet?
I was gonna say not necessarily with UI deliverables, but going more with an artist was saying like with research, doing card sorting activity. We did it again with the Microsoft whiteboard, and because Copilot is can run on that, used it to like jumpstart how we were categorizing for taxonomy.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Luke says working on Figma to code solutions. Luke, do you mind sharing anything about that if you're able to come off mute? All good. I haven't done any Figma to code, but I have seen some tools. All good. I saw a presentation on Friday at a SaaS conference. There's a lot of buzz around with SaaS founders and trying to get their solutions to market more quickly. And there are several solutions. I wish I had taken notes and I wish they had been shared out, but some of them are going straight to Webflow. So it's like straight from the wireframing in Figma over to like Webflow, which is a no-code website solution that is now using AI. So there are a few of those. I believe there's some others. Some of them, many of them have a paid version, and some of them have a very low cost, so low barrier to entry. Definitely worth checking out if you're also doing your portfolio or if you're working for a company that is looking for those kinds of solutions too. Reloom, yes, that's it. Okay. And yeah, I've heard of builder.ai. So Luke's putting in the chat all this stuff, but I have signed up for builder.io. I haven't had a chance to really use it, but that one looked really promising and I wanted to give that one a try as well. I wanted to propose that it almost feels like we should have like a little AI club or something like that. So I'm going to set up a channel in the UX and ATX Slack for AI, and then we can start to share these tools that we're using there, and maybe even share any of the deliverables and assets that we're able to, just so that other folks can see. And if there's enough interest, maybe we can put together like a work study group, you know, every month or so where we're going through and trying things out, and maybe someone can share what they're using and how to use it, because I think that's another barrier to entry is some of these things take time to learn and we may not always have the time to jump in and figure it out for ourselves. So how about I go ahead and I'll set that up tonight in Slack, and that way you all, and I'll put it in the general channel so that anybody who's on the Slack channel can join. And if you are not on the Slack channel, let me get you that invite. I have to find it first so I can invite you. Here we go. Here in the chat is the link to join the Slack channel. And then I'll set up that specific channel in there so that we can share all that stuff and start to really become super users of AI. Like I said, in a year, I think it's going to be pretty common for most designers to be using AI in order to do their jobs. And I believe that as we move forward, it's going to be an expectation of hiring managers, of team leads, and of companies in general, that designers will understand how to use tools so that they can speed up their processes. And then Celia had a question, will today's recording be posted on the Slack? If I don't record it in Slack, I am going to create a blog post on uxandatx.com. So let me put that in the channel. There's a resources link and it will be there, and I will also try to put it in Slack, but in case you want to go back to it a year from now, it will be posted on our website. All right, I told you I didn't have very much material tonight since it's just me presenting and I don't have my partner in crime to take over the second part of it. But I thank you all for coming. I'm happy to stay for any questions, but also, hey, you get to go to dinner early. Yay for that. All right, well, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'll see my class back on our class link. And for the rest of you, appreciate you. I will see you at our next gathering and hopefully at our portfolio review if you're in town. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Thank you.